All right, Cowboys Nation, let's talk cornerbacks because right now, this unit might be one of the most intriguing and nerve-wracking parts of the entire roster. There's drama, there's potential, and yes, there's plenty of uncertainty. From veterans possibly returning to young guys trying to make the leap, the Cowboys' cornerback room feels like it's on the edge of a full transformation. And the question we're all asking is, are they actually ready for the season? Or are we about to witness some serious growing pains in the secondary? Let's kick things off with the name that keeps popping up all over Cowboys Twitter, Gilmore. The guy's not just a former Defensive Player of the Year. He's someone who made a pretty solid impact last year, and despite not being on the roster right now, there's a whole lot of smoke around his potential return. Now, nothing's official, nothing's signed, but a few cryptic tweets stirred the pot. One of them came from Wayne Thomas, who posted about having a great talk with the OG, tagging Gilmore. That alone sent Cowboys fans into detective mode, trying to piece together whether Gilmore might actually be eyeing a reunion in Dallas. Gilmore even responded to that post, which only fueled the fire even more. And here's the thing, there's a real connection there. Gilmore and Thomas have a mentor-many vibe, and it's not a stretch to think they're still in touch. Gilmore never wanted to leave Dallas in the first place. He liked the culture, the fit, the defense. And let's be honest, he still has some juice left in the tank. Is he at the peak of his career? No, but as a veteran presence in a room filled with youth, Gilmore could be exactly what the Cowboys need to stabilize the group, especially with injuries looming large. The bigger question might not even be does Gilmore want to return, but rather, do the Cowboys want him back right now, because timing matters. The team might wait a bit, see how things shake out during the early days of camp, maybe get through the joint practice with the Rams and then reevaluate. Do they really need another corner? Is one of the young guys stepping up? Or are they suddenly desperate for experience on the outside? If you're asking me, bringing Gilmore back as a stopgap makes a whole lot of sense. He knows the system. He adds leadership. He fills an immediate need. But if the front office is looking to go young, build through development, and let the chips fall where they may, maybe they hold off. Still, if I had the keys, I'd be dialing Gilmore's number yesterday. Now, that brings us to the elephant in the room, the injury to Trevon Diggs. And this one's tough because Diggs is such a polarizing player. Some people can't get past the missed tackles. Others can't get enough of his ball-hawking play style, but love him or hate him, there's no denying his value to this defense when he's on the field. The secondary changes, the way quarterbacks approach their reads changes, and the Cowboys need that kind of presence, especially with how thin things are starting to look at corner. So here's where we stand. Diggs is recovering from off-season knee surgery. There's cautious optimism that he could be ready by week 1, but the more realistic expectation, he probably misses at least the first month. The buzz right now is that he'll likely land on injured reserve to start the year, which would sideline him for games. Of course, Diggs himself wants to be ready for the opener. He's made that clear, and honestly, that's exactly the mindset you want from your star corner, but you can't rush these things, especially when it comes to knees. It's a delicate timeline, and even if he's pushing for week 1, the smarter play might be to give him that extra cushion and make sure he's truly right before throwing him back into the fire. If you're telling me right now that Diggs is back by week 4, I'll take that, no hesitation. That's a win for the Cowboys. Because in the grand scheme, missing 3 or 4 games is way better than rushing him and risking a setback that costs him half the season or worse. Plus, if the reports are accurate and there's even a chance he's good to go for the opener, that's an encouraging sign. But again, I'll believe it when we see him running full speed in pads without hesitation. The team's going to have a much clearer picture by mid-August, and that's when decisions will start getting real. In the meantime, that puts a huge spotlight on the rest of the group. Let's talk about Josh Butler. Great story. Flashed a little bit last season when the Cowboys were scrambling for answers and rolled the dice. But unfortunately, he's recovering from his own torn ACL, suffered on Thanksgiving, the expected return around the midway point of the season. And even when he's cleared, you're probably looking at a practice squad situation initially. Let him work his way back slowly. Let's not forget, corner isn't a plug-and-play position. Especially coming off a knee injury, you've got to work your technique back, rebuild confidence, and reacclimate to the speed of the game. If other guys struggle or injuries stack up again, maybe Butler gets called up, but as of now, he's more of a long-term depth option than someone the Cowboys can rely on in September. Still, if he makes it back and earns a shot down the road, he's exactly the kind of underdog story fans love to root for. Now, let's pivot to Savion Rettel, another corner dealing with recovery, also working his way back from a torn ACL. But the timeline here is a bit more optimistic, barring any setbacks. There's hope that he'll be good to go sometime during training camp, maybe not day one, but not too far off. If the Cowboys want to be conservative, they could start him on the PUP list and activate him after a few days. That wouldn't be unusual at all. And here's where things get really interesting. Rettel was turning heads before he got hurt. Outside of one big play allowed, he was off to a strong start. He's got all the traits the Cowboys covet in their corner: size, length, speed, athleticism. But the big question is how fast he can translate those tools into consistent play at the pro level. He hasn't played a ton of corner, so he's still raw and coming off injury. There's going to be rust. It might take time. The best case scenario is that at some point this season, maybe midway, maybe late, he earns a real role, maybe even pushes to start, but counting on that in week 1, that's risky. Development takes patience, especially for a guy who was literally working night shifts at Amazon not long ago before chasing the football dream. Still, he's one of those guys you quietly root for. There's something there, you can see it. He's not polished yet, but the raw material is exciting. And in a cornerback room that's pretty unsettled, those traits might buy him more opportunities than expected. So who's actually safe in this group? According to some of the latest breakdowns, there are 4 names being penciled in as near locks: Darren Bland, Kyle Elam, Israel Mukuamu, and Savion Rettel. Diggs, of course, is out for now, but Lure is injured, so that leaves those 4 guys as the likely frontrunners heading into camp. Bland is a no-brainer. Elam was brought in with expectations. Mukuamu is the real wild card here. He's been all over the place during his time in Dallas: outside corner, inside, even some safety. But every time he gets a shot, he flashes something. He just finds a way to make plays. And if Diggs and Rettel aren't ready right away, don't be shocked if Mukuamu is the week 1 starter opposite Bland. It's not out of the question at all. The guy has versatility, experience, and he's stayed healthy, something this position group desperately needs right now. Behind them, things start to get a little murkier. Players like Callan Carson are floating around the bubble. He was a day 3 pick last year, and there was some excitement about the value Dallas got when they grabbed him. But the production hasn't followed. He struggled last season, then dealt with a shoulder injury. He should be good to go for training camp, but he's got something to prove. The upside is still there. And if the Cowboys had to pick a 5th guy right now, he might be the favorite, but he needs to look sharper. This time around, the leash isn't going to be very long. And look, the depth chart doesn't stop there. There are other names, guys like Kemen Hall, Robert Rochelle, and Drew Booth Jr., all fighting for what might be just 1 or 2 available spots. Hall had some momentum last year before getting hurt. He could contribute on special teams, which matters a lot for those final roster decisions. Rochelle has bounced around a bit, but has a good special teams resume. And Booth, honestly, this might be the end of the road unless he shows major growth fast. He's working with his 3rd defensive coordinator in what feels like a blink. It's now or never. And remember, if the Cowboys do decide to carry 6 corners, that 6th guy better be able to contribute on special teams. That's the only way you're sticking on the roster, especially when guys like Diggs are expected to return and bump someone off. So every single rep in training camp, every preseason snap, it all matters for this group. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are swirling around the NFL as the Dallas Cowboys reportedly move to bolster their defense with a potential signing of safety Talanoa Hufanga, while nothing is confirmed yet. Sources close to the team suggest that the Cowboys are actively exploring ways to solidify their backfield, and Huffanga could be a key piece in that puzzle. Talanoa Hufanga, who has made a name for himself as a versatile and dynamic safety, has caught the eye of many with his ability to read offenses and make crucial plays. His combination of speed, intelligence, and tackling prowess has made him one of the more promising defensive backs available this offseason, given Dallas' recent defensive struggles. Adding a player like Huffanga could be exactly what the team needs to shore up its secondary. The Cowboys have been under pressure to improve their defense, especially after facing difficulties containing opposing passing attacks last season. With high-profile offensive weapons already in place, bolstering the defense is a natural priority for the front office. Hufanga's skill set aligns well with Dallas' defensive schemes, and insiders say the team is impressed by his versatility, which would allow him to play both in the box and deep coverage. There are murmurs that negotiations could be heating up, with the Cowboys showing a serious interest in locking down the talented safety before other teams swoop in. If the deal goes through, Huffanga would likely slot into a key role, possibly stepping in as a starter or a major contributor in various defensive packages. While the financial terms remain under wraps, it's believed that Dallas is prepared to offer a competitive contract to secure Hufanga's services. The move could also send a strong message to the rest of the league that the Cowboys are serious about transforming their defense into a unit that can complement their explosive offense. Of course, until the ink is dry and the deal is officially announced, it's all speculation. But one thing is clear, the Cowboys are actively working behind the scenes to add talent and depth on defense, and TALANOA Hufanga's name is definitely one to watch in the coming days. If this rumored acquisition materializes, it could mark a significant step in Dallas' offseason strategy and potentially shift the balance of power in the NFC East. Fans and analysts alike are eagerly waiting to see if the Cowboys can turn this buzz into a reality and build a more formidable defense for the 2025 NFL season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.